Welcome to Whitney Alex Works recaps of Bachelor in Paradise, its 10th season. The milestone of this Bachelor Nation spin-off series comes with major changes. This includes a new location. Instead of Mexico, the show has moved to Costa Rica, where instead of crabs, we get tropical lizards for the local mascot. Other changes include former Bachelorette number 15, Hannah Brown, is now another host and is titled under Bachelor Relations. And Wells, the bartender, returns again as he originally came from the 2016 Bachelorette season. So with a new location, added staff members, and a brand new cast from recent seasons, Bachelor in Paradise is ready to try again after a year of hiatus. Let's begin. Multiple contestants from past seasons of Bachelor Nation shows are ready to find love again, with Spencer from Jen's season being the first man to show up, and Alex from Grant's season being the first woman to arrive. A total of 14 singles show up in Paradise day one, as love at first sight basically happens with first arrival Spencer and Jess from Joey's season. They have great chemistry already and sparks are flying. They end up trauma bonding about past breakups and end up holding hands and then sharing a kiss later in the episode. We get introduced again to the other cast members as women have the power of the rose this week, which automatically changes the relationship dynamics. Another change is the show is putting more effort into chemistry tests and takes inspirations from other recent love competition reality TV shows. So for its milestone 10th season, BIP is changing how it presents itself in the eyes of the viewer. Day one also has Justin from Katie Thurston's season of The Bachelorette. He arrives and gets the season's first date card. The drama with Justin is that he dated a Bachelor alumni Susie Evans before this season, and at the time of filming, the breakup was recent. But Lexi from Joey's season is interested in Justin, but worries about the breakup being too recent for them to make a genuine connection. Well, despite the early doubts, Justin ends up asking Lexi on a date, but rain washes out whatever they had planned and it's postponed. The show also changes with giving us day cards, as on day 2, another contestant shows up and it's Dale Moss, the winner of The Bachelorette season 16. He got engaged to Bachelorette number 16 Claire Crawley. Well, obviously since he's here on BIP, that relationship did not work out, but his arrival excites a lot of the women contestants, including Alex, Zoe from Grant's season, and Kat from season 9 of BIP, who actually got engaged last season, but that didn't work out either. Just like Justin, Dale has a date card and talks to a lot of the women, but he connects with Kat and ultimately picks her for the date. They go on a romantic boat ride and share their first kiss together. Meanwhile, chemistry tests have started, and as the contestants play games about what traits they are attracted to without knowing who those traits belongs to, it leads to a tiff between Ricky and Hakeem, both from Jen's season. They end up bumping heads as they didn't get many likes in the game. But soon another arrival comes, and it's Sam M from Jen's season, and he too gets a date card. Sam ends up choosing Jess for a date, which makes Spencer upset, but Jess does go on the date with Sam, and they go to the jungle for a purification and rebirth ritual. Sam in his confessional says that Jess could be his dream girl, and they do end up kissing on the date. Other couples forming are recent alums Jeremy and Bailey. Ricky from Jen's season is connecting with Alex, as well as Zoe begins sharing romantic moments with Brian from Jen's season. Day 3 begins, and there are 10 men to 6 women, so 4 men are going to be headed home at the first rose ceremony. Justin gets a second chance date with Lexi, and Lexi shares her concerns about Justin's recent breakup with his ex Susie, but Justin still wants to pursue Lexi. They share a kiss, but it still seems like an uneasy situation. But with the first cocktail party, we see more of Alex, as she is in a love triangle with Ricky, as well as love interest Jonathan from Jen's season. But with time running out for some of the men, rose ceremony number 1 has early love triangles getting resolved, with Jess picking Spencer instead of Sam, Bailey picking Jeremy instead of night 1 exit Kyle from Katie Thurston's season, and Alex surprisingly picking Jonathan over her budding love interest Ricky. So the 4 men eliminated are Ricky, Hakeem, Sam, and Kyle. Episode 2 begins with a switch in power. The men have the roses this week, and with that switch in power, Brian is immediately giving Zoe the cold shoulder, knowing full well that more female contestants are bound to show up. And of course, 2 more contestants do. They are Allie Joe and Parisa, both from Grant's season, and they, like the new arrivals so far, have a date card to use. But as Parisa and Allie Joe shop around for their upcoming double date, the show pulls out more activities and does a chemistry test with an iPad. Swipe yes if you are interested, swipe no if you are not. Those with matches get a chance to kiss the person they matched with. Jonathan is very popular as he kisses 4 women, including Alex and newcomer Allie Joe. Dale is popular as well as he kisses Kat, Zoe, Alex, and Allie Joe as well. This is conflicting for Allie Joe as she is very interested in Dale, but also has an interest in Jonathan. Parisa matches with Brian, who swiped yes on everyone, so when they share their first kiss, you have that feeling that Zoe is in trouble this week, because Parisa and Brian seem to be hitting it off. And so Parisa unsurprisingly asks Brian on a date, and Allie Joe ends up asking Jonathan, which is shocking because it seemed like she matched better with Dale. But Kat is around, and that is a problem for Dale as his exploration of others is short-leashed early on. The date between Jonathan and Allie Joe makes Alex uncomfortable as she doesn't know where her feelings truly lie with Jonathan. Meanwhile, another female contestant arrives, and it's Jill from Clayton's season of The Bachelor and most recently BIP's season 8. Jill is back and is hopeful that her second time in paradise leads to something special. Meanwhile, we get an update on Justin and Lexi's early connection, as Lexi is upset that Justin and his ex Susie's relationship could be too fresh, and she voices that concern to Justin, only for none other than Susie Evans herself arriving on cue, and she is hopeful that she can make a new connection in paradise. But Justin is there, and Susie and him inevitably talk, and it's emotional as they talk about their recent breakup. All the while, Lexi is there concerned about what is going to happen next. But with all the drama brewing, Susie admits that she and Justin are interested in moving forward with other people. Day 4 brings Susie's romantic options into the light. She ends up choosing Jeremy for her date, who is coupled up with Bailey, and they go jet skiing and have a great time together, even sharing a kiss. Jill also got a date card when she arrived, and despite limited options, she chooses Jonathan for a fun presidential suite hangout. They have a good time, and despite Jonathan not really being interested in Jill, they do share a kiss. As the episode is coming to a close, the issue of the upcoming rose ceremony looms large. Many triangles are forming as Brian seems to like Parisa over Zoe, and despite Allie Joe liking and even kissing Dale, it seems Dale might be sticking to his first connection, Kat, despite all the attention he is getting from other female contestants. Episode 3 of BIP Season 10 resolves more love triangles with Rose Ceremony number 2. This round's love triangles are solved as first Brian chooses Parisa over Zoe, Dale then chooses Kat over Allie Joe, Jonathan chooses Alex over Allie Joe, Jeremy chooses Bailey over Susie, but when Justin is up to give out his rose, he shocks the group and the audience by calling Susie's name. Susie is upset and ends up rejecting Justin's rose, which makes everything even more awkward. Lexi is rightly upset and then she self-eliminates. Justin, knowing there is no going back, ends up leaving the show as well, but decides to give a sympathy rose to Jill, giving her a way forward despite all this mess. So with the dramatic rose ceremony over, Susie, Lexi, and Justin self-eliminate, and Allie Joe and Zoe head home also. On day 6, 9 contestants from the golden seasons of this franchise arrive in paradise for the first time ever. This was teased before the season started, and in episode 3, they have finally arrived to shake paradise up. This changes the dynamics a bit as the golden contestants get ready to start relationships of their own. Natasha and RJ are already connecting, and April and Jack have an early kiss in the pool, but even with the golden contestants beginning to romance each other, another young male contestant shows up, and it's Andrew, last seen in BIP Season 8. He gets a date card, and he makes a hard decision between Bailey or Alex. Andrew ends up asking Bailey on a date, and she agrees to go. But this decision makes Alex upset, and Jeremy gets angry too, getting mad enough and making a controversial decision by not only saying in his confessional quote that he regrets not giving Susie Evans the rose at the last rose ceremony, he also wants to call her and ask her to come back. He demands staff to get her on the line. This shocking decision is on full display as Susie picks up the phone and Jeremy pleads his case about he regrets not picking her at the rose ceremony. Susie tells him that she's flattered, but she can't return to the show, probably because of what just happened with Lexi and Justin and herself, leaving Jeremy devastated. But the issue is he going to tell Bailey about this change of heart? The short answer is no, and this becomes a major problem in later episodes. So continuing on, Andrew and Bailey go on their date and have a fun tree yoga coffee date where they take a coffee bath together and end up kissing each other. But on the next day, Bailey feels bad about her date with Andrew and wants to commit fully to Jeremy. She tells Jeremy that she wants to commit to him, and Jeremy is happy about Bailey's revelation, but he neglects to tell her what just occurred with Susie. Focusing on other couples, Alex decides that she can't be romantic with Jonathan anymore, so they suddenly uncouple. So with Bailey rejecting Andrew and coupling up with Jeremy, Andrew focuses his attention on Alex. Alex teases him a bit about choosing Bailey for his date, but they do end up sharing their first kiss together in the pool. Going back to Jonathan, he is now single again, and he goes to Jill to try again, but she doesn't buy it, and she rejects him for choosing Alex over her last rose ceremony. Then all of a sudden, Sean from charity season arrives in paradise, and he has a date card. Sean ends up asking Jill on his date, and they go ATV riding in the jungle. They end up connecting with each other, but there doesn't seem to be anything too serious happening between them. When night comes, host Jesse Palmer has an activity for all the contestants. Everyone writes down a dirty secret, and whoever has the most scandalous secret and reveals themselves, this winner of the activity will get a date at a VIP presidential suite in the hotel. With some shocking secrets revealed, the most shocking secret goes to golden contestant Kathy. Her scandalous secret wins a date card, and she invites golden contestant Keith, but despite their romantic vibes, they have a plutonic time drinking champagne and soaking in a hot tub. But as another rose ceremony is approaching, Jonathan is freaking out knowing that he doesn't have a connection with anyone at the moment and elimination is possible. But Jonathan starts to think he can get his next rose from golden contestant April. So when episode 4 begins, a new arrival comes from the Golden cast, and it's Gary from the Golden Bachelorette. The Golden women are excited about Gary, especially Leslie, the runner-up on the Golden Bachelor season number 1. Natasha, who has been coupled up with RJ, is also interested in newcomer Gary. With Gary arriving, he gets a date card and talks to the Golden women, but hopes to take Leslie out for a good time. Leslie says yes, and they head out to dance in the rain and have a good time together. Meanwhile, we switch to other couples as trouble is brewing between Kat and Dale. Kat is upset about Dale kissing Allie Joe outside the iPad matching date, and Dale tries to quell it by telling her that they need to, quote, dead it. Kat makes a big deal about Dale saying deading it, dead it, and she basically shit talks him to the other contestants. It's all a mess with these two, and they will continue to bicker for the rest of the episode. Suddenly, it's cocktail party time where last-ditch efforts include Jonathan hoping to plead his case to golden contestant April, who continues to flirt with him despite their massive age gap difference. It doesn't seem truly romantic, but Jonathan is hoping to convince April to give him a sympathy rose, and April actually considers it, even though she is romantically linked up to golden contestant Jack, even sharing a kiss before the rose ceremony begins. But what is interesting is April gets rejected by golden contestant Captain Kim, which seems pretty random, and out of spite for that random rejection, April might be planning to throw a curveball. Then again, the show focuses on Dale and Kat's feud, as Kat is upset about Dale kissing Allie Joe and him not telling her willingly. But then Dale says that she is, quote, basically acting like my ex, which rubs Kat the wrong way. Then Dale takes it further by saying he and Kat are not, quote, cut from the same cloth. It's truly a mess between these two, as they're constantly mad at each other, but it doesn't seem like they are going to choose anyone else. Rose ceremony number 3 solves even more love triangles as the Golden Women get to hand out roses this week. Natasha decides to give her rose to Gary, which he accepts, but the issue is Leslie was going to give her rose to Gary. So Leslie ends up giving Kim the rose as a platonic option, but Kim doesn't know that. Kathy ends up picking Keith, and the big twist is April decides to give her rose to Jonathan, freaking out the entire cast, but she claims it's because she wants to give Jonathan another chance at love. This shocks everyone as April just cut a lot of golden men by default, sending home 3 golden men, RJ, Jack, and CK. The other couples that made it through include Bailey and Jeremy, Alex picking Andrew, Parisa and Brian, Jess and Spencer, Jill picking Sean, and finally Kat choosing to continue her relationship with Dale despite their arguments. Moving on, day 9 begins with Gary in a love triangle with Golden, Natasha, and Leslie, but he seems to like Leslie more, with Leslie even telling Gary that she wanted to give him the rose and not Captain Kim. Then to make matters worse for the Golden ladies, with slim pickings, 2 more Golden contestants show up, but instead of more Golden men, more Golden women show up in paradise. First, Nancy from the Golden Bachelor arrives. Keith is immediately interested in Nancy, but is still coupled up with Kathy, even if it's platonic. Also, Faith shows up on a horse, and it's quite an entrance, but the issue is there are 6 Golden women and only 3 Golden men. Now April is probably wishing she didn't give her rose to Jonathan because a lot of the Golden women are about to head home. Episode 5 begins with Golden contestant Faith blazing into paradise on a horse, and men realizing they have the power of the rose again. Dale decides that despite all the drama with Kat, he likes her and wants to continue what they have going, so they are okay for now. Another new arrival shows up in paradise, and it's Leia from Joey's season. She, like the other new arrivals, have a date card to use. This adds yet another woman in paradise, and Leia gets to scoop from the other contestants and ends up choosing Jonathan on a date. Jonathan agrees to go. They have a picnic and talk about Leia's life between Hawaii and Los Angeles. These two apparently already knew each other before paradise, but despite a prior connection, it seems like this date isn't going to be romantic. Meanwhile, Golden contestant Nancy uses her date card, and despite Keith being interested in her, she asks Gary on a date. Gary agrees to go, and they head out and have a cacao ceremony, which basically gets them high in Costa Rica. They have a good time together, but despite bonding on the mood enhancer date, Gary seems to be still interested in Leslie. For another chemistry test, all the contestants get dressed up for a Birds of Paradise mating ritual dance. The show is getting creative with the activities as everyone has on feathers and vibrant clothing options, and as everyone is getting ready to have a fun time, Jeremy decides to continue on about his what-if situation with eliminated contestant Susie Evans. Jeremy vents his frustration to Brian, who is deciding whether he will tell Bailey about Jeremy's continued betrayal. But for now, the Birds of Paradise flocking activity begins, and soon there is a new female contestant, and she is dressed in red. The new female contestant is revealed to be Alicia from Grant's season, and she vibes with Dale, even dancing around him when Dale is flocking. This makes Kat unhappy, and there is more drama between her and Dale, now over Alicia's interest in Dale, and no longer about Allie Joe. And Dale is very interested in Alicia, even asking Alicia to basically save him from Kat. Well, back to the flocking activity, things get hectic when Golden contestant April gets wild and kisses Sean, which makes Jill upset, and Jill gets even more upset when Sean makes an effort to talk to Alicia to get to know her better. Jill can read between the lines, and she decides to self-eliminate, deciding that her second time in paradise is now over. Meanwhile, the winners of the Birds of Paradise activity went to Brian and Parisa. They won a presidential suite date where they continued to deepen their romance, but things are off when Brian is upset with Parisa when she tries to ask him his favorite color in the pool, with Brian calling it elementary. So despite winning a date, Parisa ends up confused and bothered by how Brian was acting with her during their night alone. Moving on from the bird dress-up activity, day 10 has Golden contestant Captain Kim suffering suffering from a medical emergency, as his dancing and flocking might have increased his heart rate a little too much. So when new arrival Faith gets a date card, she is disappointed that Captain Kim is gone and ends up asking Kathy on a friendship horseback riding date, but it's only because she couldn't choose Captain Kim, who she is actually interested in. The next day also showcases Alicia being interested in Dale, but despite Alicia hoping to romance Dale, she ends up asking Sean on a date when she gets to use her date card. Sean and Alicia then head out and have a scent activity where they do end up connecting and sharing their first kiss. But the drama continues when Alicia admits that despite her romance beginning to blossom with Sean, she can't help her feelings for Dale. And that's it for episodes 1 through 5 of Bachelor in Paradise Season 10. Thank you for watching Whitney Alex Works recaps of Bachelor Nation content. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe here for more videos in the future. See you soon for the next batch of episodes.